Sing this shit, y'all. Sing this shit. Hey, come on, man. I'm telling you the truth. Hey, it's all in what you do. Hey, some things you gotta do. Hey, 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 hey. Barbershop conversation, guys. Feel free, hit the subscribe button. Hit the subscribe button. So I've been meaning to do this video for like 2 weeks, man, and it fucking skipped my mind, man. And since we talking about it tonight in the barbershop, I'm gonna give us what I feel. First, I'm gonna say this. I'm not advocating for this fight. The reason why, because I just want to see the best fight the best. You know what I mean? I don't care. I'll give my perspective if you guys care. And since we're gonna talk about it tonight, we'll talk about it because it appears that Team Crawford is delusional as it pertains to the Terence Crawford, Manny Pacquiao, and Spence fight, both being 50-50 against Team Crawford. And since that's the rather delusional, since that's so delusional, don't forget that we're gonna be in here 9 o'clock Pacific Standard Time in about 2.5 hours. This is just stupid shit, man. And I'm gonna tell you what I believe, and leave your emotions at the door because I'm gonna tell you the truth about assets, about depreciating assets and assets that are accruing. What's the term? Anyways, oh man, I told him my mind always draws a blank. Once every 3 videos, my mind draws a blank. But is Shawn Porter a depreciating asset or an asset that's growing? Okay. Let's just review Shawn Porter in its totality. Okay. Let's just talk in real. Leave your emotions at the door. Let's just have this real conversation. Let's work backwards. Shawn Porter versus Formella. No crowd was there. The fight before that, Shawn Porter versus Terence Crawford. Errol Spence says he can't sell out a family dinner. Everyone, that quote went viral. He was coming down the stairs at the hotel, and I actually saw him say, "What's up?" Shawn Porter versus Errol Spence was, looked like it was sold out. It felt like it was sold out. Great fight. Shawn's a great competitor. Shawn brings sodas to the party. If there was such a thing, if there was a party, Shawn brings cola. You know what I mean? 6 Up, if there is such a thing. You know, Shawn Porter brings the off-brand potato chips. You know, he doesn't bring much to the party. You know, he was building the fight in Lion, saying Shaq and Martin Lawrence and all these people from Ohio was coming. And I remember the build up to that fight. No one showed up. Errol Spence told him, "You're a man with no land," from Cleveland. And Shawn Porter's hasn't had a home fight in Vegas in a while. And I don't think he's had a fight in Cleveland. I don't know that to be true. But I'm going to, maybe he had one early in his career, but I'm talking about as a world champion or competing for a world championship. I don't remember going to Cleveland for a fight. And the fight before that, he fought Ugas. I was there. Less than 1,000 people were there. No one came. It was cold. Yeah, it was cold. But 2 weeks before that, 2 or 3 weeks before that, the same temperature. No lie. Maybe 5 degrees difference. Grammy weekend out here in LA. Meek Mill shows up and freezes his ass off to watch Tank Davis fight a nobody. Tank Davis fought a nobody. And that's when the reason why I remember that, I was there. It's in my home city. And 2, what's the guy's name? The 168-pounder, David Benavidez, said, "I'm rooting for the Mexican guy." I remember he said that, knowing he was like a 1 million to 1 odds, you know, against. I remember that Meek Mill showed up, and it was sold out. Abner Mares pulled out. People still showed up for the fight. It was at least 8,000 people there. For Shawn Porter as a WBC champion, there was about less than 1,000 people there. No lie. Like it was so little people that they put everyone on the camera side. You understand what I'm saying? Like no one was sitting on this side of the arena. They just want to fill in this area so it looks good on TV. Like, it was literally way less than 1,000 people. Way less than 1,000 people. No lie, between 500 and about 700 people were there that night in the stands. I don't. If you add in everyone that was working, it was probably about 1,200 people, maybe 1,000 people. You understand what I'm saying? But it was very sparse. And if you saw it on TV, you probably can see it. But it was terrible. And the reason why I say this is, there are people that believe that Shawn deserves more. I say no. You make a hard order, and this is just me. It's business. Leave your emotions at the door. Shawn, take this $1 million or go fight somebody else. There's nobody Shawn Porter can fight. Keith Thurman has a comeback fight. Errol Spence just said that he's willing to fight Shawn Porter again. Where else? Ugas, you can't pay those salaries. And another thing too, I remember seeing an interview with Kenny Porter on Blue Blood's channel, and he said that Al Haymon gave him the consent to go get the Terence Crawford fight. The reason being is because Al Haymon does not want to pay Shawn Porter's salary. The reason why Shawn fought Formella is because Formella was cheap. Shawn Porter probably got $1 million for that fight. Feel free to go to the California State Athletic Commission, and it'll tell you if you feel like reading the minutes. I choose not to care, but it's somewhere in the ballpark of probably $1 million. You understand what I'm saying? Where can Shawn Porter go get $2 million? Al Haymon's not giving Shawn Porter $2 million, because if Al Haymon wanted to give Shawn Porter $2 million, he would put him back in against Ugas. If Al Haymon wanted to pay him $2 million or pay him more than $1 million, he would hold him as an asset. Here's the truth of the matter. Al Haymon is banking on, and this is no shade, just understand business, guys. Just understand money. All right. Al Haymon is banking on Bob Arum paying Shawn Porter to fight Terence Crawford. One, it relieves him of a salary, and it opens up a date, because now he's not on the PBC schedule. PBC is having the hardest time in the world getting these fighters fights. Tony Harrison hasn't fought in a year. Gary Russell have fought early February. Caleb Plant is finally fighting again. He fought in February or something. I went to his fight, but he's having a hard time. He doesn't have enough dates. Okay. And he doesn't want this fight to go to purse bid. But now they playing rough out in these streets now. And I'm just speaking from what I believe to be true. Bob Arum versus Al Haymon. What he believes to be true. The reason why, in my humble opinion, Bob Arum, and you guys got to really, 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 really listen to my interviews for it to make sense. You guys are just listening and taking it literal. I give you guys the food. I give you guys all the ingredients to take to the kitchen and put it on the stove, put it in the stove, microwave, crock pot, whatever you want. He's forcing Al Haymon's hand. I want Errol Spence, man. I got to cash out. Terence Crawford contract is up. What's up? And if you're not going to give me what I want, I'm not going to give you what you want. You trying to hold strong for 3 years? And it's just business, guys. Take the racism out. Take Al Haymon's black, Bob Arum's is white. Take all that. Strip yourself of that. And let's just deal with numbers. Okay. I deal with numbers every day. Okay. Millions of dollars every single day of my life to the day I die. I will be calculating millions of dollars. Okay. Pay attention, sit your ass down and listen. Okay. He says, "You're not gonna give me Earl Spence." And you're not gonna give me Earl Spence, and you want me to pick up Shawn Porter's salary. The nerve of you, nigga. The nerve of you. No, I'm Bob Arum was like, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that for you. I'm not doing you a favor and you ice me out for 3 years, right? It's a fact, right? It's business, right? It's business. It's good business when it works to your advantage. That being Al Haymon for 3 years, it worked for his advantage. And I, number one, was advocating on behalf of PBC, right? But at the end of the day, Bob Arum will not do Al Haymon a solid and pick up the salary of Shawn Porter if the salary doesn't serve a purpose. $1 million is in a wheelhouse where he could just give $1 million away to Shawn Porter. If Shawn Porter goes in talking about 2 or 3 million, it's gonna go to purse bid. And Bob Arum don't bid on purse bids. Tell me a purse bid, off the top of your head. You may have to do now. Don't do research, just off the top of your head. Top Rank has won. Ain't gonna happen. Shawn Porter's gonna get 25%. Terence Crawford's gonna get 75%. And whoever wins the purse bid, so let's say Barbershop Conversations can put in $100,000 purse bid. Why not? You understand what I'm saying? Do y'all see the tea leaves? Did I break this down enough for you guys? Bob Arum is only going to pick up Shawn Porter's salary if it's an asset to him. Okay, if it's not an asset to him, like $1 million, maybe 1.2, I'll just say he has to get less than Kell Brook for the fight to go. All right, there's no other way around. And Shawn Porter is not making the money that Future. He's probably made a lot of money in the past. He was just on pay-per-view, and one would assume that he's made millions. I've never seen a check of his, but he has a great quality of life. And take your emotions away and just deal in numbers. What's up, Kennedy? All right. And so at the end of the day, Shawn Porter doesn't sell tickets. Shawn Porter doesn't sell pay-per-views. And Shawn Porter brand is not big enough where it moves people to repost him. Shawn Porter hasn't knocked anyone out since Andre Berto, so he's not meme worthy. This is how Shawn Porter's brand has grown more based off of his clothes than on his boxing. The two memes I remember vividly is Errol Spence knocking him down with the left hook, and some comedian the other week doing a video on Shawn Porter and what he wore. Even Steven Jackson said it. He's a pretty popular dude now. Condolences to the George family, but he was great friends with George Floyd, so his profile has grown immensely, doing great work around America. So with that being said, those are the two memes that I remember off the top of my head that I can remember vividly. And maybe that look. Shawn had a meme when he gave that look or something like that when Adrian Broner knocked him down. Those are the three things that I can remember vividly in Shawn Porter's career where it penetrated the viral market somehow, some way. Outside of that, those three moments, I don't know another moment. You understand? So that's where I'm at with that. And but $1 million is a firm stance. Al Haymon doesn't want to pay him his salary. Listen, it's not. You guys got to understand, son. If you're in the business of making money and people not giving you checks, see, I'm in the business of making money, and what I mean, I'm not talking about how much money I make, but if I don't wake up and move, I don't get money. You understand what I'm saying? There's a portion of the world that just has to be at a location to get a check. You understand? I have to get up and cognitively think about how to create and generate revenue. Okay, I'm not talking about how much, but just the ability to create a dollar. Okay, so there's a different type of mindset. So you got to think of it in terms of how much money has Shawn created for the sport of boxing. Think about that versus how much money has Errol Spence created and generated. I've never heard anyone say I'm flying out to a Shawn Porter fight. Never heard in my life. I've seen people say I'm flying out for the Errol Spence fight. I had 50 people contact me. About 20 of them from Dallas that I've met while I was there. Some brothers and people that I've met just being in the city. Hey, are you coming out for the Errol Spence fight? Like, nah, COVID, I'm not coming. About 50 texts, DMs, whatever the case may be. True story. I didn't even watch the Shawn Porter Formella fight because the Lakers were playing that day. It was a Saturday. The Lakers were playing. I think it was a playoffs or something like that. Being honest. And Shawn, that was supposed to be a statement fight for Shawn. I thought Al Haymon did a good job scheduling because he got Formella cheap, and it was supposed to be a showcase for Shawn Porter, but Shawn Porter couldn't show out on the showcase. So now he just falls back into a group of guys who have a level of name cachet, but don't have any financial cachet. You understand? If you mention Shawn Porter's name, oh, he can fight. He's a dog. But will you pay to see him fight? Think about it. Terence Crawford fought in Vegas. Only 8,000 people saw him fight Jeff Horn. Will you fly out of will you get out of the comfort of your home, pay $1,000 to go see Shawn Porter and Terence Crawford fight? If it's not an absolute yes, then you understand the business of boxing. You understand, and that's the truth. Are you willing to pay for a 4 seat for Errol Spence versus Shawn Porter? I mean, excuse me, Shawn Porter versus Terence Crawford. You got to have these. You got to have these real questions. So, anyways, man, we going live on this subject today, and I try just to start talk strictly finances, so you guys can really, really hone in on that. Shawn Porter doesn't bring much to the table, but those off-brand potato chips where it just says chips on it, and the soda that says cola. You know, he doesn't bring 3,000 people, 5,000 people. People aren't asking, "Hey, when's the next Shawn Porter fight?" You know, I want Terence Crawford, Errol Spence. That's what I want. And the only way Shawn Porter fights, or the only way Bob Arum picks up a Shawn Porter fight, is if it's an asset for ESPN. If it's not an asset for ESPN, he's going to leave the onus to Al Haymon, and that's just playing the game of business. All right, and that's the truth. Leave your emotions at the door and say Bob Arum's cheap. So was Al Haymon. Al Haymon hasn't paid for a fight. Al Haymon, listen. Al Haymon's never paid for a fight. He had a hedge fund. He leveraged the hedge fund and got the Showtime deal. He leveraged the hedge fund and the Showtime money, and what? Got the Fox deal. He's a genius. He's never come out of pocket for PBC. And let's take it back a step further. And this is what's pissing Steven Espinoza off so much. And if he wants to feel free, he's gonna have to talk about this one day. Al Haymon leveraged Floyd Mayweather to a long-term deal with PBC on Showtime. Hey, Al Haymon said the same thing Bob Arum is doing to Al Haymon on a micro level. Al Haymon did to Showtime and Steven Espinoza on a macro level. You know what that is? He says, if you want Floyd Mayweather for this 6 fight, $200-300 million, whatever it was, $200 million, you know what you're going to have to do? You're going to have to give me, you're going to have to guarantee me some dates for me to build PBC. And now that time is coming up, 4 or 5 years in. Steven Espinoza, they did 167,000 pay-per-views. 167,000 views this past weekend. And they got to make a decision. That's leveraging your assets. Al Haymon leveraged Floyd Mayweather into a Showtime deal. You guys got to follow the money, not your emotions. Follow the money and not your emotions. Al Haymon is not emotional when he knows Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder can do 800,000 to a million pay-per-view buys. Oh, I'll work with him in a heartbeat. You never heard Tim Smith say, "Oh man, Bob Arum is a nasty man." Not during those 90 days. Everyone's happy. Everyone's happy because everybody's making money. Manny Pacquiao, Floyd Mayweather, everybody's happy. Keeping it a buck. Bob Arum was angry at Al Haymon. Oh, he doesn't exist. I'll never work with him when he had all the welterweights, when he had all the assets. And now Bob Arum has a little bit of wiggle room because of the growth of Berlanga and Teofimo Lopez and that Mexican at 126. You understand? So he got a little bit of wiggle room. You know, you always gonna find a cheap asset. If you pick up 10 cheap assets, one is gonna blossom. Edgar Berlanga, Teofimo Lopez. You understand? Bob Arum has a cap on what he will pay for someone in the free market space. He has a cap on it. And we talk about it in my interviews so much, and y'all don't pick up on the shit. Y'all just think every answer to the question got to be, well, A, B, C, D. So anyhow, man, understand business. Business, I'm telling you, if you're gonna be emotional about business, you're gonna have a long life. You're gonna have a long, dreadful life dealing with people. You know, it's really simple with my handyman. Did it get done? I deliver checks on Friday. Well, today being Friday, since it's Christmas Eve, I deliver the checks. And if I call my tenant, and this happened, is happening right now, or it just ended today. My worker forgot to close a hole up because you know you have connecting pipes when they face each other from the kitchen to the bathroom. He forgot to close up the hole, right? And guess it was an oversight by him. My tenant called me yesterday and said, "Oh, if you don't mind, he forgot to close up the hole." You know what I said? I got on the work. I says, "They forgot that you forgot to fill in the hole. When you get done with the hole, call me, and I'll deliver your check. I'll meet you at the unit." You're not getting paid if you know. No, it's really simple. People respect accountability. You understand what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, that's what it is. Is Shawn Porter worth more in the free market? Yeah, it is what you negotiate. But Bob Arum is not negotiating for Shawn Porter. He's negotiating for Errol Spence. Think about that. Think about that. Is the risk worth the reward from a business perspective? Barbershop conversations, man. We got a neighborhood from 7 to 9. We got Christmas carols, man. A neighbor hired a band to come out and sing Christmas carols right now. It's cold out in LA too, but we're gonna make it do what it do. We'll sit on our porch with some hot chocolate and listen to some Christmas carols. So, anyways, next year, Lincoln is doing it. Lincoln is doing it, man. Lincoln is gonna host it next year. He'll be 7. He's gonna host it next year, and we're gonna open up the doors and shit. And Lincoln's gonna play I'm buying Lincoln a piano for Christmas. So it's amazing. I'll tell you guys a story in some time. So, but buying Lincoln a grand piano for Christmas. So it's not here yet because it's being built. But next year he's gonna play for the community. So, but this year our neighbor across the street has a Christmas carol. So we just hot chocolates, hang out, and I'll be here at 9:00 on the Dizot. So, anyways, man, barbershop conversations. We'll have this conversation tonight, 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and leave your emotions at the door. All right. Because if Shawn Porter was worth more, Kenny Porter would pick up the fight and pay his salary. But no one, do you understand what I'm saying? That's the truth of the matter. So, anyways, man, barbershop conversations. Feel free, hit the subscribe button. I'll talk to you guys soon. Peace.